Hi, this is Al Crokenna, and I'm here with Matt Saltanovitz, Regional Director for Economic Development with the Northwest Indiana Forum. So could you tell us a little bit about where we are and why we're being interviewed right here in the Lake Business Center?
Okay, yeah, I chose this place. I'm also a Munster resident like yourself, and the Lake Business Center here is one of the more recent economic development projects in Northwest Indiana. This is the old mattress factory, I want to say Simmons. It's right next door to the Pepsi plant, and if you can remember from a time probably when you were a lot younger,
Okay.
and when I was a lot younger, forever, this was just an old factory, not really doing much. And a developer bought the land, bought the building, got some help from the town through TIF money, I believe. Don't quote me on that. And was able to redevelop the building. I got out of college. My first job was at the newspaper in Anderson, Indiana, about a half hour outside of Indianapolis, kind of on the way to Muncie from Indianapolis. I had a couple of job offers. One was with the Times in Munster and one was with the paper in Aurora. I chose the Times because it was close to home and I thought I'd be able to stay with mom and dad for a while and save some money on rent. I thought, I'll live here a couple of years, and journalism, at least when you're young, is more of a, we'll say, transient, job. You tend to move around a lot as a young journalist. I didn't do that. I enjoyed working at the Times, and I met my wife there. My parents are here. We decided to have a kid after we got married, and so that's what kept me here. And I'll just go on to my next part of my story. Like I think most people, I kind of fell into economic development. I think a lot of people don't consider it as a career, and it just happened upon me. I got involved in a couple of efforts of like the Lake Area United Way. So I'm on the board of directors there. We market we are a 7-county organization for Northwest Indiana: Lake, Porter, LaPorte, Newton, Jasper, Stark, and Pulaski counties. It's a pretty big area, but that's considered Northwest Indiana, at least in our organization. And the state's Department of Workforce Development mirrors that, where they break it up into sections. The IEDC, Indiana Economic Development Corporation, which acts as our Department of Commerce.
Okay. So when you say you're the voice of business, some people might understand economic development as something that's kind of, I don't know, just kind of hard to put your finger on exactly like what is an economic development stance or program. And so when you say business, do you mean like offering new jobs through job training, or
The organization that does economic development for, say, Lake County is going to focus on Lake County. The people that do, the organization that does Lake County, for the city administration that does, economic development for Hammond is going to be focused on Hammond. And even further out front, showing Northwest Indiana is open for business, and we're all working together. I'm sitting here with the person from Michigan City, with local economic development practitioner from LaPorte, from Jasper County, and so on. So it really is that rising tide lifts all boats.
Okay. So, but have you ever come across a particular challenging community or business entity that really doesn't understand the value of regionalism, and how do you communicate to them that that rising tides rises all boats?
I think I'd say it just like that. I mean, you're going to get, if you have a united front like that, the people will notice. I mean, when you talk to consultants, they're people too, and they can sense when there's discord in the community. And even if if we're talking regionalism and say consultant for a business, a site selector is looking to locate within, say they know they want to be in Northwest Indiana, and they've talked to a host of communities, and they see that one community in, I don't want to pick names because this isn't true, but say one community in Lake County is saying, yes, come here, Northwest Indiana is great. Someone in Porter County is saying, come here, yeah, but Northwest Indiana is great. But someone from another community says, oh, come here, but don't go to those two counties. Yeah. They're garbage. They're going to sense that discord, and it's going to reflect bad on that community that says that. Okay. So that's.
So in the profession, it's understood that regionalism, as opposed to,
you're going to be more effective if we work together. Okay. United together, we're going to make more of a difference than we would one man for themselves. Okay. Or every man for themselves. And attending these trade shows together and going to these site selector and broker visits. With our partner organizations, the Northwest Indiana Forum has a business retention and expansion program where every year we go out and we talk to our existing businesses. We talk and ask them, what are your challenges? Do you like doing business here? What would help you do better here?
And what are you finding in some of those surveys?
Our people are happy here, but I'm seeing a lot of workforce being their current issue. Well, I think no city administration in their right mind would do anything to be exclusionary of any of their population. I mean, at the end of the day, these people still vote, right? Right. That's kind of out of my league. I'm not a urban planner per se, but I would say, of course, you want to look at all your population and not to disenfranchise anyone, and make sure everyone has a place in the community that they can live. But along those lines, by attracting these higher wage jobs, I think maybe that's part of the answer. Maybe not every job you attract is going to be the $50,000 a year job or higher. Some of these jobs might be higher than minimum wage, but not so high that college-aged professional or college-educated professional would take it, maybe. Okay. So maybe not the minimum wage right now is $7.25 an hour. Maybe getting into the $12, $13, $14, $15 an hour jobs are the type of jobs that's going to lift these people out of poverty. No, we focus a lot on business attraction, retention, and expansion. Make sure the companies we have are growing as well. If they have any challenges, making sure that there are ways to get around these challenges as far as working with the local community, or finding land to expand, for example, or finding workers to hire, and making sure they stay successful, because that's who we want to keep here, right? Our successful companies. Yes, and not only that, we have we're within 1 day's drive to 80% of the population. So I think that's a pretty big advantage for any sort of company looking to distribute from the Midwest to the rest of the continental U.S. All these different spokes working together. It takes workforce training, it takes quality of place, it takes urban planning and community planning. People seeing that advantages of kind of the best of both worlds. Not only that, but we have access to one of the most beautiful bodies of water in the world. Fresh water in Lake Michigan. So, if you've been there, it's pretty awesome. So there's nothing but great potential for Northwest Indiana.